to, what am I talking about today? No, vision of manufacturing. Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for the 5 of you that decided to stay back and listen to us. I appreciate that. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the industry vision from Microsoft point of view for manufacturing. I think I have way more slides than I need to for 30 minutes, so I'll try to go quickly. I guess I should get this, yes, this clicker. Okay, just by way of introduction, my name is Chandru Shankar. I lead EMEA for manufacturing. Been in Microsoft about 12 years, and started in manufacturing in my career before I joined Microsoft, so been a long time in manufacturing. It's a great industry. And manufacturing is really a sector, if you really think about it. The industries are automotive, are high-tech, are aerospace, are metals, food manufacturing, textile manufacturing. You can go on and on. Then you think about oil and gas and utilities. It's a very broad segment. So our job is to make sure we understand what it is the customers require in that particular industry and see how our solutions fit for them. So really from an industry standpoint, when we think about the sector, how quickly it's changing, you think about digital transformation across all of the industries. And certainly in manufacturing, there is rapid transformation. When you think about what used to be the supply chain, it was a very linear supply chain, right? You have supply, you have the actual design of the product, the production, and then all the way through to sales and the fulfillment. And it's a very gradual process. But with the advent of cloud technologies, the Internet of Things, really now customers have been able to take this and reshape their product and their offerings to be more one-to-one, be more able to customize the product and the solution directly for the specific industry, for that specific customer. And that is a paradigm shift when you think about all the data that they're able to get access to do that. And that's where our cloud technologies come to being. So when you think about this is a good segue into the cloud itself. What is our Microsoft cloud? When you think about our cloud, we think about really what we've done from 3 major pillars, if you will. Starting with productivity. It's personal productivity, but it's also employee productivity. And that is Office 365. Products you loved, you use on a day-to-day basis, whether it's Excel, whether it's Word, it's PowerPoint, it's OneNote, et cetera, Outlook, Excel. So that's your personal, that's your employee productivity. And then you think of the platform itself, Windows, but now with the cloud, that's Azure, which is whatever you want to pronounce it, right? And that's where our solutions basically reside. So but with Azure, we have the power of not only providing infrastructure as a service or a platform as a service, but we also have our own solutions sitting there. So we have software as a service as well with Azure. And then the third main pillar is business applications, and that's where Dynamics fits in. It's great to see how with Satya as a CEO, how this is central to Microsoft as one of the 3 major pillars. And underlying all these 3 pillars is the data intelligence and the security management. These go hand in hand for all 3 pillars. So today I'm going to focus on business applications, Microsoft Dynamics 365. And you've seen some of these slides, so trust me, I'm not going to go over the slides again. But what I wanted to tell you is, why did we bring CRM and ERP together, right? So you've heard the presentations today about how we've gone to Microsoft Dynamics 365 with all the several workloads, sales, marketing, and the service workloads, plus operations. Why did we do this? We did this essentially to enable support for your end-to-end business processes in your organization. Let's take one example. A very common example that I see across manufacturing, but certainly across many, many industries, which is your lead to cash, prospect to cash, whatever you call it. When you think about this, you think about this in your organization, or you talk to your customers and you ask them, is this CRM or is this ERP? Most of the time the answer is yes, because it is. It's both. So why do we have two systems? And that's the beauty of Dynamics 365. When you think about starting with a lead, starting with a prospect, and then it becoming an opportunity, and then you actually providing them a quote. These are traditionally CRM workloads, if you will, functions, if you will. And then you think about this becoming a sales order, and then you're fulfilling the order all the way through to invoice. These are typically back office, ERP functions. What we've done with this new release, with Dynamics 365, is bring these worlds together. And we've done this with the help of the common data model. And this is really brilliant what our R&D teams have done. So basically, you're now sharing customer information between two systems. You're sharing leads, you're sharing opportunities, you're sharing item masters. You don't have to create them twice. It's the same master, it's the same data that's shared between the systems, right? And therefore, you have that master data management. And this is critical. And not only that, we can now, because we're Microsoft, we can extend it to our other pillars, Office 365. Why is this important? Think about you as a salesperson going out there, you talk to a prospect over the phone, you created an appointment in Outlook to meet this salesperson. If with our setup, that appointment automatically gets synced up to CRM. So now somebody else in your organization knows that you have an appointment with this customer. If you take notes, those notes get populated. You don't have to do it twice. And then all the intelligence that comes with it, which we'll talk about in just a second. So these are powerful ways of bringing these systems together, bringing the data together, bringing the information together. And of course, it just doesn't stop there. We have a load of industry solutions partner solutions that you've been hearing about throughout the day. All of those as well can come together, because what our partners have been doing, especially with our cloud solutions, is creating those extensibility where those data elements can also be pulled in, right? Okay, so when we talk to our customers and we talk about what it means to them, what does digital transformation mean to them, we think about it in 4 areas. We think about it in terms of engaging with their customers, our customers' customers, empowering their employees, and then, of course, optimizing their operations while transforming the products. So let's take these couple of these pillars together. Engaging the customers and empowering the employees. These are typically what we look at it from the CRM or the customer engagement perspective. And this is where our wonderful CRM solutions come in. I don't think I have a laser pointer in this, but when you think about CRM, you think about 3 major, some of the major areas. You look at the workflow with this. It's a workflow-driven application. It's wonderfully created. It's logical. You can create the steps based on what is intuitive to your organization, your sales processes. And then when you think about the middle aspects of it, right in the middle there, you think about some of the areas that's where you get the relationship insights. Because what CRM is able to give you now is your next best action. It's telling you, hey, you know that email that you sent to so-and-so customer? Well, they just opened it. Or that document that you sent them, nobody's even looked at it. You might want to call them and say, Mr. or Miss so-and-so, I sent you this, would you mind taking a look at it? Or telling you that, hey, it's been 20 days since they looked at the email, there has been no action, maybe you should follow up. So there are things that the system's not able to give to you as the next best action. It's giving you insight into what is the probability that this opportunity is going to move forward or close. And all of these are valuable information for you as salespeople. And then, of course, it's mobile enabled. So, regardless of the device you have, whether it's Windows Phone or iPhone or Android, whether it's a tablet, you have that information, and it fits to that form. You don't have to recreate it. The data comes there and it's available to you. So, when you think about some of the other workloads, when you think about marketing and what we're doing with marketing, we're able to personalize some of the insights for the customers. And again, having this as a single solution is huge. I'll talk about some examples, but really we have customers who are now able to personalize the journey of their customer base, their own different segments of their customers, but then get that information and make it available to their salespeople. Lot of times we've seen organizations where marketing is working on a completely different silo from sales. Probably is happening to potentially some of you folks as well. And why is that happening? Not because they want to, because this group is working hard on the goals that's been set for them, and this group is working hard on the goals, their quotas and their sales, but they're often like this. And now having a single system, you're actually able to help them. You're able to help marketing create offerings that actually mean something to sales, or make sure that sales know that there's these offerings available and they need to go push these. So these are huge, and this is what we are being able to do with our solutions, and now even more extending it with our partnership with Adobe. And then when you think about service, there are multiple components. You obviously think of customer service. That's huge, and that's across industries. In multiple industries, you think of customer service, you think about call centers, contact management, and that's something that's been intuitive to us. What's new to us from a service standpoint is field service. And for our industry in manufacturing, this is actually very, very relevant. When you think of field service, how many manufacturing companies build a product, then they have to service the product. There's after sales, there's repairs, maintenance. And this is where field service comes in. And what we're able to do, because again, with the full breadth of the suite, you think about sending the technicians out there and making sure it's the right technician, the right skill set of the people getting out there. But you also think about, okay, for this particular repair, they need XYZ spare part. And you can actually see is this spare part available before they actually send the person out. All that is valuable in having it as a single solution, if you will. Okay, so let's take some examples. This one is a major automotive customer that they've just gone live with a pilot, and they're rolling this out. So I'm going to keep them nameless for now. But it's one of the top automotive manufacturers in the world. What they've done is really what I talked about before, this integrated workflow from marketing through to sales through to service. So in this scenario, you got Thomas is I think it's Thomas, yes. He is the person here. I'm Thomas. I own a vehicle. It's up for the lease is up. But the salesperson knows that the lease is coming up, so they're able to go reach out to Thomas and let them know there's some offerings coming in. But in the meantime, because I also know that my lease is up, I've actually gone to a dealership and looked at some of the cars. And whilst I don't like this car, I actually like this car. In the meantime, you as an OEM are going to send me some messaging, some information, some offers on this car. But because now it's a single system, they're able to see that I've already gone to a dealership, I've done some test drives, I like this one, so they can exclude me from the marketing campaign of this and put me into this one, right? So this is just some of the value add. And then all the way through to, in this scenario, the person actually gets the car, has an issue with one of the parts in the car, goes to social media and sends out a tweet saying, man, this is supposed to be a new car and I'm getting this crap, what's going on? And before this becomes a fire, the OEM is able to see this message and actually action it. They put the best mechanic on this and fix this before it becomes an issue, so much so that Thomas has gone back and tweeting and saying, wow, what wonderful service. This is the kind of company that I want to work with, that I want to be loyal with, blah, blah, blah. So just wonderful examples of the complete customer journey when you think about from marketing through to sales, through to service, being enabled by a single solution. Okay, I want to play a video of Sandvik Coromant. Sandvik, for those of you who don't know, are a machine tool manufacturer. So when you think of CNC machines, computer numerical control machines that make the close tolerance parts that pretty much everybody in manufacturing has, so they make the tools, but what they're doing is doing the analysis of the data from the tools, so much so that they can provide a service to their customers. So the customers using Sandvik tools can actually, if I'm a machine operator, I can know because of the data, they can tell me, hey, this tool bit is starting to dull. Before it becomes an issue, I can start to rotate the insert or change the tool bit or whatever. So just let's listen to this video.
Sandvik Coromant has been in the forefront in the metal cutting industry for more than 70 years. What we can offer for our customers is specific knowledge at the tooling level, minimizing idle time up to 50%. At Sandvik Coromant, we use Azure IoT Suite to collect data in real time and getting facts out of the machining process. With our sensor-equipped tools, that is possible. If you know the temperature, if you know the load, if you know the vibration, if you have that and can use that type of data, you can increase the efficiency of the machining process and generating savings for our customers of millions of dollars. Our decades of knowledge and experience from the metal cutting industry, combined with Cortana intelligence, I think makes the perfect blend. It is about using the cloud, giving instant recommendations about cutting parameters, speeds and feeds, connect that to our CRM system, bring that into our call centers and instantly give feedback to the customer. This enables customers to predict when to change a tool, when to order a tool, how to move out of a vibration zone. In simple words, how to become more efficient. We at Sandvik Coromant are really excited how Dynamics 365 brings all the systems together. With this solution, we are able to reinvent the art of manufacturing. Tools, machines, processes working together, all the way from the customer to the sales interaction, helping us deliver an unprecedented level of field service.
I love that he says how Dynamics 365 brings everything together. And that's kind of how we like to look at it. It really does. It becomes the heart, the guts of your company operations, how we can bring it all together. So another example is Safety Clean. Safety Clean, why do I like this example? It's really a wonderful story when you think about this company. Safety Clean make industrial parts washers. So they're pretty much in a lot of different companies. They're a critical part of the manufacturing process. When it goes from step 1 to step 2, the parts need to be cleaned. If there's solvent, if there's chemicals in them, they need to be stripped out before it goes to the next part of the assembly, sub-assembly, or final assembly, whatever there be. And what they're going to is a model where they don't even sell the industrial parts washers anymore. They just go install them at the customer, and then they have a contract with the customer based on usage. So the machine actually still belongs to Safety Clean, but they're selling a contract to these customers, and it's really wonderful. And what they've done, when you think about their usage and what they're doing, they use pretty much, they called it Project Clean Slate. And they just wiped out everything they had and went with our solutions. First off, you think of the guts of it, it's AX. AX gives them inventory management, it gives them forecasting capabilities, and the ability to also measure the profitability of a contract, et.cetera. Then you have CRM, where they actually do the contract lifecycle management in front of the customer. They actually know what does the customer have from a contract standpoint, what can they potentially sell, upsell them, et cetera. Because the service people are quite often the sales people for Safety Clean. So they have to know what the contract is. And then field service. For them, the field service module is the key. It's the guts of their operation. Why? They've got over 550 technicians out there across Europe, making sure those machines are running properly and efficiently. So they have to monitor what those machines are doing. They have to do the reverse logistics. I talked about the chemicals that get stripped. They got to go back into the main place and get disposed of. So all of that's happening. So that for them, field service is a key part. So really, they've taken the entire footprint of Microsoft and really used the whole dynamic solutions to fashion their solution architecture. And then now they're taking this to the next level with Azure IoT. So they already have machines now embedded with IoT devices where they can also now predict the maintenance required for that machine based on usage, based on potentially the pattern, looking at maybe it's not performing as efficiently as it should. That's just one area, but what they want to get to is the next mile of excellence. What they want to get to is being able to get to a customer and say, I'm not going to sell you a fixed contract anymore. I'm not going to sell you a 2-year contract. Instead, I'm going to charge you per usage. And that's the greatest mile of excellence that they could get to. And they could only do that with the entire solution footprint that they have here. Yeah? So that's a little bit on the customer engagement side. Talk a little bit on the back office, the operations side. What we talk about when we talk about optimizing the operations and transforming the products. And this is where we talk about our operations suite, which previously we used to call AX. So what do we do when we brought these solutions together? By the way, we think about these solutions. People ask us, is this a new solution? Well, yes and no. I mean, what we've done in a way is kind of brought it together from a packaging standpoint. Think about Word, PowerPoint, Excel, etc. You could still buy them one by one if you want to. If you say, I only use Excel, I don't need the others, you can still buy just Excel. But if you use all of them, you just buy Office 365. You get or the Office suite. So you could do that. That's what we've done really. With Dynamics 365, we've said, okay, you can get sales, you can get field service, customer service, project service, you can get marketing, you can get operations. We put them all, clubbed them all into operations, financials. Or you can still get them by workload. And so that is essentially our new solution, Dynamics 365 for operations. It's an evolution from Dynamics AX. It is still the same logic, same data model. So you still get the intelligence that's grown over the years. You still get that. But what's evolved from there is this new solution with this brilliant new user interface. So when you think of the user interface, you think of a modern user interface, HTML5 enabled, and this is really, when we work with our customers often say the ease of use of AX was way better than any other systems. Well, with operations of Dynamics 365, it takes it to another mile of excellence, if you will. Same business logic, and then when you think of continuous life, this is where our evolution of our methodology to lifecycle services comes in. It's cloud enabled, so we can scale to meet the customer's needs any which way. This is an example of just highlighting how the solution looks. In fact, this one is actually taking the quote from the CRM side of the equation, from the sales module, taking it through to creating a sales order and then processing it from a fulfillment. But if you look at the look and feel, you still see this kind of a similar look and feel that you saw in the CRM system, right? So for the users, it's not challenging. This is one of the feedback we get often, that when we onboard new users into the system, It's not like, whoa, what is this new system? It looks like HTML, it looks like Excel, it looks like Outlook actually. So for them, it's not that hard. It's not that immediate, oh, wait a minute, I got to learn this whole new thing. It's something that they can actually adopt, and it's something that they feel like a little bit more comfortable with, right? It's amazing. So Dynamics 365 for operations really got launched just few months ago, and we already have wide range of customers across the world from different industries, right? Retail, manufacturing, service, etc., all kinds of industries. One of the customers is Renault Formula One. I don't know how many of you Formula One fans. I'm sure there are quite a few here in the room. Renault is a customer. It's also a partner because we actually have our logo in the car. Unfortunately, they're not doing that great this year, but that's a different story. But the business is doing great. So what they do is they actually only build 2 or 3 cars a year. That's it. But they make thousands of changes to the part. So one of the things the CEO says is, back in the time, they would run these races, and they would get about 20 gig of data or 200 meg of data, whatever it is, after the race. Now they get about 20 gig per lap. After every lap, they see, okay, there's a whole army of people analyzing the engine data. They're looking at the oil viscosity. They're looking at the tire pressure. And they're looking at all this data, and a little bit of tweak to the part can make a change for the next race. They can get 0.01 second differential. That means a lot. So they have to have a very agile supply chain. So they have to be able to take this data, and they use Azure for that, back to their factory in Enstone in England. And if there's a part in operation, they got to know that there's actually manufacturing going on for this part. They got to make sure that they see where they are in the process, make sure that they're able to change the design, retrofit it, rebuild it, test it, then go back to wherever the car is, whether Singapore or Australia, wherever the next race is, fit the part in there, test it, and be up for the next race. So you can imagine how fast their supply chain needs to be. And that's one of the reasons why they chose AX, or now it's Dynamics 365 Operations. Another innovative user of our technology is JJ Foods. JJ Foods is very interesting because they've been a long-time Dynamics AX customer. JJ Foods is one of the leading food distributors in the UK, right? And when you think of the food that they distribute, it's a whole range of products. It could be, of course, meat and vegetables, which have very, very short shelf life. If this is the delivery window, the product has to be delivered within the window. But they also have other products like coffee filters and napkins, which obviously have a lot longer shelf life, if not forever. So those things are a little bit different from a flexibility standpoint. So they've always been a Dynamics user, an AX user, monitoring the delivery, making sure there's sign-off when the sign-off happens from a transportation standpoint. The corporate office is able to see when it got delivered, all of that happy stuff. So it's been great. What they've done now is extended it with machine learning, with Azure Machine Learning Cortana Intelligence Suite. So if I'm a buyer and JJ Foods is my supplier, I come in Monday morning and my shopping cart is already populated. So it's using the demand forecasting, the machine learning, the intelligence that the system is providing, even external factors such as weather potentially, and telling me that I need to buy 100 pounds of beef for so-and-so location. I need to buy 50 pounds of lamb for here. I need to buy 1,000 napkins for this location. And it's able to tell me, it's telling me what to do, and then of course I can override it, but it's giving me the intelligence that I don't have to do some of the legwork for. So just examples of some innovative usage from our customers. Just when you think about the examples of customers across our industries, it's just wonderful to see the great usage patterns across the industry. We're very proud of our customers, and we'd love for more of you to join the group here. So with that, thank you very much. I think I did a good job of coming in right at 30 minutes. So I'll open it up to any questions, but thank you so much for coming. Any questions? Yeah, please. Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Okay. I'll repeat the question. It's a great question. So the question was about connected marketing and how it affects the master planning. It's a really good question. It can affect it in multiple different ways. When you think about marketing, it depends on if the customer is making just custom designed parts, or if it's production oriented. But then it could go through the demand forecasting. And so one of the things with our demand forecasting engine is we can get multiple feeds, so the sales, the marketing feeds, and then you get that, normalize it before it goes through the master planning. But it's a very good point. The fact that we can take these signals and make sure that we can normalize some of the hiccups in your planning, in your production process, is very important. And essentially what we're trying to do is drive out these silos of information in the companies, because a lot of times you find somebody has done this research, they've done this marketing, they're about to launch this marketing campaign based on this data, and then you're producing all of these parts which have nothing to do with this offering that you're about to create. So it's great to bring that together. Yeah. So thank you. Anybody else? Well, thank you again. You've been a wonderful audience. Chandru@microsoft.com. If you have any other questions, please shoot out. Thank you. Night.